Greetings and welcome to Armored Core Reforged, the series where I take the preset ACs of the game and optimize them to the best of my abilities, preferably making them viable in PvP. The process will consist of me going over the original build, then I will go over the upgraded version and all the thought behind it. And then finally, me and a volunteer will do a final PvP test to see which version of the build is indeed superior. As well as after this video goes up, I will be making a community post where you guys can vote as to which preset will be the next featured on Reforged. But all that said, you have yourself a very good one, and enjoy. Greetings and welcome back to Reforged. Last episode we took a look at Gun 3's cannon head, and in that video I asked for y'all to give it a new Reforged name, and I think the best of the bunch is definitely Warhead, as it does indeed fit the theme most, methinks. Very good name indeed. But with that out of the way, in this episode we're going to be taking a look at Gun 2, and then probably Michigan and all that good stuff to finish off the red guns, and then we'll probably move on to the Vespers indeed. But yes, as we can see, Gun 2 is a heavy biped, type of aggressive rat type of AC. So yeah, let's get into the inner machinations of this enigma. For the primary weapons, we have the handheld missile launcher Bela Multi 04, a very solid option for constant missile and stagger pressure. And yeah, I mean, solid damage, solid reload. It's a handheld weapon, so you can afford to run other things on the shoulder, and is a solid option. It's kind of just the faster and weaker variant of the siege missile launcher indeed. Next, we have the linear rifle Harris, a very solid option for high stagger damage as well as decent chip damage, but its charge attack is really where it shines, as it is probably one of the best weapons for close range or medium range stagger break on its charge attack, as you won't need a whole lot of the initial stagger to actually proc it. And then for the shoulder mounted missiles, we have the active homing missile launcher Act 2. Dual variant. This missile launcher is incredibly good from medium to long range, constant pressure. Considering they move so slow, it allows them to turn at a great angle to come back at the target, even if they miss their initial strafe. And then lastly, we have shitty, oh my god, vertical missiles. Vertical missiles in this game are not very good. Unless you're fighting a more stationary target, like a very heavy tank tread tank, or something along those lines, the verticals are just not it. They definitely need much more AoE damage to be viable in the current game itself. For the frame parts, nothing specific that gives our build the defining edge, just a lot of heavier parts that definitely pack on a lot of muscle. We're at 12k AP, 1800 stability. We are at the 250 speed threshold, which is about the lowest you can be, at least the lowest in most breakpoints for other things like booster speed and assault boost speed. So yeah, it's very much a heavyweight boy indeed. For inner parts, for boosters, we have the PO4. Probably the best all-rounder boosters that a lot of the red guns have, but yeah, it is the jack of all trades, but the master of none. For FCS, the SLT, the Max Missile Lock Connection FCS, which doesn't really help our Harris, although I suppose the firearm spec will do enough, preferably so we can get off the charge attack, although, man, it will be not very easy against most builds. But at least our seeking missiles will lock on a lot quicker. For generators, Santai, which is an absolutely goated generator if you can afford it. And although this build can technically afford it, our current EN load is looking very tight, which means our stamina will basically recharge very slowly once it starts to recharge, which means we won't get too much value out of it indeed, unfortunately. And then lastly, expansion, Pulse Armor, one of the first presets to actually have an expansion. Shattered will indeed be pleased, methinks. Now when it comes to the playstyle of this build, just fire off everything you possibly can, stay in a more medium to close range so that you can get some value out of your Harris, as these shots will not be very accurate. And yeah, try to get some staggers off so that your missiles do as much damage as possible. But yeah, you see, being too close with the active seeking missiles is kind of rough, as you know, they're not like too far. They'll just overshoot and chits are detonate to the ground, which is most epic. But yes, this is the original build. Let's take it into the forge. And here we are, Reforged. For the primary weapons, ended up switching the Harris to the Rentetsu RF, as it is a great range weapon for high stagger buildup, and we won't have to stop to use its charge attack often, as this one's charge attack just isn't really that good, and the passive shots are very, very solid. Next, basically just upgraded the box missile to the siege missile, as its tracking is nuts, the amount of missiles is great, as well as its utility, as you can start to fire and dodge around as it fires. And since the missiles kind of stop in place, they allow you to adjust to the enemy's positioning, indeed. For the shoulder weapons, as a replacement for the vertical missiles, just slapped on another siege missile for the same reasons. As well as I ended up changing the active homing missile to the much more subtle and much more accurate, and therefore much more reliable, and you can use it much more often, Javelin Beta. For frame parts, we have the Vero head, Melanzer C3 core, Basho arms, and Hal legs. With this new assortment, we're still hitting a high 10k AP, 1800 stability, and now we're actually hitting the 333 or 330 speed threshold, which is a very, very solid weight for medium weights. It's really when they start to see their real peak of speed. I suppose 350 is when you start to get into lightweight. For inner parts, for boosters, going with the SPD, as it is a great booster for more kite-like builds, considering its weight and natural thrust, allowing us to hit the 330 speed threshold, as well as it has a nice balance of overall stats, as well as assault boost and assault boost EN consumption, allowing you to assault boost for long and at a pretty decent speed. That is if you need close to distance, which with a build like this probably won't be necessary, as we have the greatest range weapons in the game, missiles. And to pair with our long-range kinetic weapon Rensetsu, we're using the FCS Bolt. And for generator, you can run Coral if you want lots and lots of stamina to keep up the dodging, depending on the type of enemies you tend to fight, or you can as reliably run the Hakushi if you want to rely on more natural regeneration. And keeping expansion Pulse Armor, as it is indeed most reliable. And when it comes to the playstyle of the build, it is very much similar. Just fire out all your missiles that you can, and continue to fire your Rensetsu whenever it's available, and just chip away and whittle them down until they are dead, indeed. But yes, this is the Reforged, indubitably. Me and my buddy Shattered will now be doing the PvP test. Shattered will be piloting the original, I will be piloting the Reforged, and we shall battle to see if the upgrades are indeed worthy. As well as I would like to remind you that we are doing a sub goal. If the channel reaches 2,500 subs before the end of this month, I will be doing an all Requiem week, in where I do a video of Requiem every day for a whole week, indeed. But with that out of the way, enjoy the fights. Yeah, vertical's rough. It was rough.
They look so cool, but they're so bad.
Yeah. The only one that's like competent is like Delivery Boy, but even then, you're not really getting much value out of that unless you're fighting a tank or a heavy Tetra. But either way, oh yeah, no, it's still bad. It's like, it's the best of the worst, but it's still bad.
What hit? It won't do anything. Damage, like, wise.
You right.
Yeah. Like, I haven't even hit you once. Ow.
You right. Good to go.
Okay, I shot that into the fucking brick, dude.
God.
Ow.
Oh, fired off that without even locking on.
Have you even, like, noticed my favorite missiles, like, once?
I never even thought about them, honestly.
Yeah, I don't have enough funkiness to dodge.
Yeah, dude, this is a boss battle. It's trying to whittle you down.
This looks like a fight. Is this what's like the fight Altius?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. Good God. The lance.
What do I even have for my expansion? I don't actually know.
I think it's Pulse Armor.
Probably good to know.
Oh well.
This was one fucking round. What the fuck? I do a pulse armor. Good to know.
Which was almost Jover. Oh, God, that took so long to whittle you down. And the missiles are still tracking. They're actually doing some
See,
work.
his build is pretty chunky.
Oh, it's very chunky. Oh, good God. I think that actually hit very nice.
I think I honestly I probably would have won this if I just had like better missiles.
Oh yeah, no doubt. If you had the missile setup I had, it would just be the same fight, except for you'd have much more health.
Ow.
Oh, this is great.
I mean, he fucking hit you with my linear rifle like once.
Maybe.
I generally cannot tell.
This is so fucking dumb. That's great.
This is stupid.
This is so great.
God. I know you're using a regular rifle, aren't you?
This is, yeah, Rensetsu RF. Oh, dear God. Jesus Christ, what a battle of attrition. Holy shit.
I might also do my own version of this. This is kind of fun.
It is pretty goofy. Alrighty, that is it for this video. As always, do check out Shattered's comics and all the cool stuff. Socials will be in the links in the description, as well as to Hopeless and Mecha, good buddies of mine that stream this game and all that cool stuff. But yes, I highly appreciate y'all for watching, and I will catch you next time. I'll be sure to make a poll as to the, well, I suppose actually we'll be taking a look at Michigan. Then we'll clear that up and then continue on. But yes, I will see y'all in the next one indeed. Make sure to leave a comment with your new name for this AC. Indeed, I am most excited to see the creative names again. But yes, I appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Peace.